New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are two girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here come the girls. It's more than practical. Here come the girls. Way more than merely factual. If you want to know the secrets of a life that's free, listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
Hello. Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
Yes, hello.
We're so glad to see you. I am Robyn Rice Olmsted. And
I am Dr. Natasha Wilson here in Brisbane, cold Queensland. We are freezing. It's like, I just did the math. It's like 52 degrees this morning and I'm freezing.
well, it's cool here. Actually, it's been overcast. It rained a lot yesterday, but it's about 82. So not cold at all.
Yeah.
But I am in New Mexico, Albuquerque, and on my way at some point today to Las Vegas, Nevada. So where last we heard it was 106.
Oh
so,
my goodness.
You know, that's crazy. That's like double what you are.
That's yeah. No. Mm-mm. No. No. I don't even know what to say. Just no.
I think you said it.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything else to say. No is it. So if you're joining us for the first time, we are on opposite sides of the world. And what we like to talk about is how to find the spiritual in everything, how to find that space where God is, if you call it God, or where love is, or where the universe provides, or any of those things, and just have conversations, deep conversations about metaphysical and spiritual stuff. So if there's something that you'd like us to talk about, feel free to put it in the chat, and we will definitely do that. Today is quite the day. If you listened last week, we said we were going to have a guest. I swear it was true, but our guest had to cancel. Well, she'll be here within the next couple of weeks. She got some really bad news today, and so she just felt it was better to take a moment. So she's taking a moment. We're letting her do what she needs to do. And let me tell you, I'd like to take a moment myself. It's been quite the morning at our house. I'm going to tell you about my week, even though I didn't give you a chance to ask about it. It has been, we literally, last night, you know, we're getting ready to go to bed. We'd watched the TV show, and Gil goes to walk into our bathroom, and he's like, "What's this?" And I'm thinking the dog must have peed or something, even though they don't do that there. But the next thing I knew, he's digging water out of the tub and out of the shower, and the toilet has overflowed, and the sewer is backed up. We have two bathrooms. It's in both bathrooms. The water's in our closet. So that's how our evening ended. And then when we awoke today, you know, our landlord came and did some work and fixed it, and we've just been going ever since. So and getting ready to leave tonight on a plane. So it's been crazy. And so let me just tell you, I was thinking about that multitasking and how women multitask. I think that's another topic we should explore at some point.
Yeah. Okay. I've stopped doing that though.
Oh, baloney. How could you stop? You're a mom. You may not
because
think
I
you're
have
doing
to.
it,
No,
but
because I have to. Because the last time I tried multitasking, the tub in the bathroom overflowed with water because I was running bath, putting on laundry, and trying to get dinner going. This was a few months ago, and when I not like what happened to you, but water everywhere. It went out into the hallway. The kids
yeah.
thought it was like a playground. They were slipping and sliding across the floor, and so I was like, you know what? I think life is trying to tell me something.
Okay, well, even better reason to have the conversation, because maybe there's something you can teach us all. I mean, I think I do. Because I think that even I don't know. I just think I think a lot. I don't know. We'll talk about it when we talk about that topic. So today we're going to talk about something else. And I'm not exactly sure what that is yet, but we'll let you know. Before we do that, I'm on the real. What can I say? I'm being
No,
real.
this is what these are the things that I love about what we do. The realer it is, I don't know, the more heartfelt, soul-felt, and funny I find it. Because life is funny.
It is funny, and the realer it is. I mean, I find that's why I think it's so refreshing. Like like when you see somebody mess up on stage, like when they're in a show, or like a talk show host talking and then they crack themselves up or whatever. But those moments where you see that vulnerability in somebody and you can relate to it on your own level, like, hey, I do that. I make that mistake, or you know what I mean? Or I wish I could do that. A lot of times I wish I could do that for me, but whatever. So we're gonna figure out what we're talking about, and perhaps it will be dictated by our card pull of the week, because as spiritual beings, we like to read the signs along the way. So we start with a card pull to see what that has in store for us. And we are pulling today from the Sacred Traveler deck.
Okay.
I thought it was appropriate since I was sacredly traveling.
And you will still be sacredly traveling.
I will. I am traveling to Viva Las Vegas. So tell me when to stop.
Okay. Stop.
Stop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Mystic healer. Healing energy flows through you.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Why'd you pat it? Why'd you pat the card?
So what does that bring up for you?
I don't know. Mystic healer. Okay, let me drop in.
So I'll tell you the first thing it brought up for me, because
Okay.
And again, this is just the real. I was like, oh crap. Again, because it felt like I have to do something, or something's expected of me, when I know that's not true. I mean, when I drop in, like you just said, then it brings me to that place of knowing that mystic healer exists in all of us, and that there is a place. Yeah, that there is a place where, when we're still and when we know, we can do that work. When we can let go of the outside and the water overflowing and the sewer backing up and the landlord coming over and the guest canceling and all of those things, when we can let that go and just go, I'm here now. and really breathe into what is ours to do. I think that's, when I find the mystic healer within me. So that's what that brings up.
Because we've been talking a lot of it about the nature of grief and the experience of grief over the last couple episodes. I had this really fun experience with my grandmother. So my stepdad raised me since I was 3, and I'm almost 50. So he's my dad, right? So his mother, my grandma Emily, I remember once when I was at her house, and she came of age like in the 20s and 30s. And so full on segregation in the racial segregation in the US. But I remember she was telling me this story one time, because she used to as for work, she cleaned the houses of white people. But she always had this dignity about her. And then she said, before she would go do the cleaning, she would put on like an extra layer of like what she called uppity. And so she said she would walk a certain way and like sway her hips on purpose. And she would sway her hips to the spelling of the word Mississippi. So which with every letter, she swayed one way, and with the next letter, she swayed the other way. So she's saying this in her mind as she's walking into these people's houses to clean their houses. And she's just doing her Mississippi walk. And so I remember she was showing me how to do the Mississippi walk. And yesterday, just out of no for no, she just came into that memory came to me. She came to me after I was leaving my daughter's school. I went to go drop off their medication, and I walked there because that's how I get exercise these days. But on my way back, she just came into my memory. And so just out of the blue, walking down the street, I decided to start doing the Mississippi walk. And I was like, I'm pretty sure these cars passing in traffic or the people on the streets like, this is why we don't let foreigners into our country,
That's funny.
But it was such a great memory because, I loved my grandma's stories about how she would always sort of like one up people who thought they were better than her. And even just in how she moved her body. And then it got me wanting to listen to Beyonce. And so then I danced yesterday. And so then that was all good.
That's funny. I listened to Beyonce last night. I watched a video of her. That's really funny.
Yeah.
That's funny because I don't do that.
We live in a sacred unified field.
It's so true. That's so great. That's such a great story about the Mississippi Walk. I love it because you could totally feel what that did and how that shifted the energy. And that's what this is about. That's what this is about as the metaphysicians that we are, right? Is being able to shift the energy. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
I don't mean like we come into the world to control the world and shift the energy, but being able to shift the energy and feel that love and feel, it took your grandmother to another place. She was like, nobody's going to dictate who I am or what I do based on what I do. And that walk took her to, look, this is who I am, and I love that. I love that. My grandmother.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, and it gave her granddaughter, it gave me so much joy, to be in our bodies together in that way and to know, I can use my body to call, to sort of call on something greater. It was beautiful. It was, I don't know if she knows how much and I have so many stories like that with her. But yeah. Anyways, you're going to say something about your grandma.
That my grandma did the same thing. She used to clean house for white people, and so, I think so many of those great stories is as the elders, their mind over matter, because that wasn't about who they were. That was about surviving, making a living, doing whatever. So that's just interesting. Yeah, there was something else I wanted to say. Damn, I hate when that happens.
Notes. I take copious notes.
I don't know. But okay, let me read you a little bit about the Mystic Healer.
Okay.
I put on my husband's glasses. Card meaning. Inner and outer healing on all levels is occurring in your life. A situation, relationship, or physical challenge is being resolved. Have faith that it's happening. This is the time to find the source of challenges. Transform your inner grievances. Do it now. You no longer need to carry it with you. You are a healing force for others, even if you're not aware of it. Yeah, that's interesting because all of that came up for me today as I ran to my chiropractic appointment before this, and she's like, and I just saw her last week, and she's like, oh my God, your body, it's like it's healing and it's letting go here and it's doing this and it's doing that. And she's like, but it's like your body knows that this is happening and da 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 da. And somebody else said to me, you know, and after my healing, whatever, past life thingy that I was talking about with you all a couple weeks ago, like somebody was like, I feel like you're just letting go of things. Like you can see things just falling away from you. And so I really do feel, I know this is super woo-woo, but I do feel like things are falling away. I don't even know exactly what they are, but I can feel the shifts, you know, I can feel, and as far as the chiropractor goes, I can feel like a different stability in my body in places and like things holding in the right place for longer. So it is like a physical, interesting thing that I think is happening along with the mental work and transformation.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. It makes all the sense.
Oh, I love it when that happens. How about you? What is the Mystic Healer telling you?
I don't know. I just, you know, sometimes this has been an interesting week, but before, because I know I get distracted and I don't want to, I just don't want to forget. I did my hair again and I finally got it just perfect where you can see like the coils at the end. You see the coils?
Yeah.
I got the coils perfect. So the perfect amount of olive oil and water and my coils are perfect. And I'm so happy. And I have nowhere to go today. I have nowhere to go today to show them off. Okay, so that's that.
But you can walk around and do the Mississippi walk with those coils.
Which I probably will.
Right? And feel super good about it.
Yeah. And just be prepared to answer the phone if I need you to like come bail me out of an insane asylum because they're like, she's crazy.
Well, that's the other thing that you said, you know, like people probably thought, you know, why do we let the other people, foreigners into this country? Maybe. But the other thing is people probably didn't think at all. You know what I mean? We think so much that people are like paying attention to us.
Yeah, only reason I said that is as I was walking, like someone honked their horn, and I was like,
oh. Well, that's the girl, that Mississippi walk, I bet they honked their horn. Right? Swaying. Yeah. That's funny.
No, you know, but when I hear like the card and the reading about the card, I just think about how, you know, just in my work and just in how I try to parent my daughters, I feel sometimes like a little bit of like a modern mystic. And it's so interesting because this week I had so many client reschedules and cancellations, but before that happened, I remember inside of me saying, I really want to find space for devotional contemplation. I just want to have space to be quiet, intentionally, be in meditation, journal, be with the presence of God as it wants to know itself as my life. I want to listen deeply. And yeah, so I got a whole bunch of cancellations, which mean I basically made no money this week, but I got to be close to God. Modern mystic in the house. So there we go.
Well, and I think that's another great show topic. Like, be careful what you ask for, because you ask for that, and as you're able to see where it happened and how it unfolded and go, I traded this for this, and that's okay. But sometimes we're like, wait a minute, and we get all upset about it.
No,
but
I actually chose. I remember. I texted my friend and I was like, I am normally I would start to feel a little stressed, but I didn't. And it was interesting because I ended up still getting money from some unexpected places. And so everything was okay.
All needs are met. All needs are met.
Not all money comes through my work. And that
right.
was the reminder that came to me over the week. Not all money and not all my worth comes through the work that I do. And I had several great reminders of that this week and felt very grateful.
That's so great. I mean, it's such a affirmation that the universe really conspires and for our good, and that. So today, with all of our trauma at the house, and trying to pack and trying to get ready and get things ready for the dog sitter and all of these things, and get out of the house, and then we had a meeting, and then afterwards Gil's like, don't we have a chiropractor appointment? I'm like, oh. And of course we're 15 minutes from the chiropractor appointment and 30 minutes from the chiropractor. I'm like, okay. So all of those things, and I called, I told them, and she's like, well, she does have clients after. I'm like, okay, well, even if she can see one of us, and we get there and there's nobody in the waiting room, and we go in, and she's like, yeah, my client after you canceled. Somehow in between the time I called and the 20 minutes it took us from there to get there, it's like, yeah, the universe knows what it's doing. I mean, it just does, and she said it was interesting because this was someone whose wife had called and said they really needed to get in, and I got them in on the last appointment to blah, blah. No, it wasn't for him. It was for us. You know what I mean? It's just so interesting to really pay attention to the signs.
The universe is alive. She's alive. She's breathing, and she's always talking to us. Always in sacred communion with us. Always.
Yes, and yes, and sometimes in order to remember that, we have to breathe and just act as if, which is kind of what the Mississippi Walk is. It takes us back to that place, really, where we can anchor in something, in order to get to another place.
Yeah. So I know we need to probably take a break. And while we do that, I'm going to go grab our family portraits came in. I'm going to go grab them so I can show them to you. So when we come back from the break.
Okie dokie. All right. So we're going to come back from the break, and we will see what else we talk about. Perhaps we'll talk about family portraits. Who knows? But wherever it is, we'd like for you to hang out and talk about it with us. So stick around, and we'll be right back here on New Thought Media Network.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa,
Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are two girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here come the girls. It's more than practical. Here come the girls. Way more than merely factual. If you want to know the secrets of a life that's free, listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
And we are back.
Yes, we
Welcome,
are.
welcome back to Girls Behaving Metaphysically, where we are being very spontaneous today. So we're so glad that you joined us in order to jump in and let us know what's on your mind. And I was thinking, Michael, maybe you have, or Michael Mangus, our fabulous producer, who is so tolerant of all the things we put him through. But maybe you have an idea, maybe something you've always wanted to know about women that maybe we can answer for you. Just saying, if that comes up. So what were you going to say, Natasha, and where are those portraits?
Oh, I have the portraits, but I just also spoke to the plumber because I didn't get a chance to tell you that we're having our own plumbing issue as well. Not as bad as yours, but we're getting a whole new toilet in one of our bathrooms. So the plumber is coming today, so that's good. So I was able to do that on the break. But here are the portraits. I can't help it. You look. I organized this photo shoot, and anybody who's ever organized a photo shoot, and my children, they come to me through foster care, and so they have other siblings, and I do a lot of work to keep them connected to their siblings and also to the carers who care for their siblings. So I put a photo shoot together for 12 people. Okay. I'm very proud of myself. Okay. So anyways, I finally got the photos back, and I'm going to share it. Look at us. Look.
Oh, wow.
Look how big Alexis and Macy are now.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you remember when they were like babies?
I do.
Oh, my gosh. I won't show you all of them. I'll show you this one.
Oh. Is that your yard?
No, we went on location. Okay. So that's what I mean. When I say this was not easy. I'll just show you this one, but this is all the children and all the carers in the care group.
Wow.
And I commissioned the photo for each family, and I finally got them in the mail. And so this weekend, my plan is to get beautiful frames and to give them all out to everybody.
That's so cool. That's very sweet.
Yeah.
Very, very, very sweet.
So those are the portraits. The other thing I wanted to ask you, Robyn, is what are you reading these days? Because I'm reading this these days.
What is it?
The Gospel Gospels collection. So it includes the Gnostic Gospels of Judas, Mary, Philip, Truth, and 4 bonus Gospels. So that's what I'm reading these days. What are you reading these days?
You know, I'm not a big reader. I don't have time. However, I have been looking at Eric Butterworth's prosperity book just because I did that class. I'm in that class right now.
Oh, okay.
I've been in that class before, but that would be what I'm reading. But like, I'm not a read for enjoyment kind of girl. I would like to be. I get jealous, like when you're like, I'm reading blah 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 and blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. And when I used to wait tables, I would get jealous, like when people walked into the restaurant by themselves and they'd sit down and order a glass of wine and read their book and then have their dinner. I was like, how do you have time for that? I want to do that.
That sounds so holy. I think that might be one of the first things I treat myself to when my kids get old enough that I can leave them home alone. I'm going to take myself out to dinner, order a glass of wine, and read a book. And not like a silly book, like some kind of swarthy romance book with the Hakka men from New Zealand.
Well, I'll tell you, yeah, when I do read a book, it's usually like one of those smutty romance novels.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to read any of those in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't read any in a while, but those are the ones I read. However, if you have book suggestions, I would love to hear them because I have like 10 Audible credits and I need to like get my books and then get off Audible because I have 10 Audible credits.
Get any book by Octavia Butler that you can get.
Okay.
She is amazing.
Yeah.
It will not disappoint. She's when she was alive, she won the Nebula Award, I think more than twice. She's dead now, but she was a Black woman science fiction writer, but her science fiction is so smart and so filled with both comedy, I feel like a type of political accuracy and a type of intelligence and imagination that I reread her books. So I say, get anything by Octavia Butler. Okay. That's my recommendation right now. I'll think of other things later.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to write it down.
And Margaret Atwood, books by Margaret Atwood. She has this book called Oryx and Crake. It's done so well on Audible, like the music, the sound effects. It's done really well. Like it's like I was listening to the audiobook a couple years ago. I was like, I might as well be watching a film. It was done really well. So it's
okay. Wait. So Margaret who?
Atwood. She wrote The Handmaid's Tale.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't watched The Handmaid's Tale.
No, you don't need to. You live in the United States.
What does that mean? I know people that love it though.
We're already living The Handmaid's Tale there.
Okay. Yeah, then I don't need to. All right.
That's what I.
Okay. All right. So what are we talking about in this little bit of time that we have left?
Well, you asked Michael if he had a question that was pulsing in his soul.
But it hasn't shown up, so I'm thinking that he's ignoring us. I mean, or trying to think of a question. I don't mean it in a bad way.
I am not ignoring you.
Okay.
I just don't have a question to ask right now.
See,
so
Michael.
Go ahead.
It's because of your depth of understanding about women. And that moment of silence was brought to you by
If I was to give any type of advice to the couples that I married, I would take the guy aside and I would say, learn to listen and then walk away. That's what
But always make sure you come back. I think the other thing is they need
Okay.
to come back.
Okay. Well,
They
I need
must-
to come back.
No, when the guys they listen,
Yes.
they walk away to process, but they must return.
Well, I think that, again, that's a part of good communication. So
Yeah.
is to say, listen, I don't know, or let's say that there's feelings expressed, and then the response is, well, can I think about it? See, and again, I think we don't teach good communication skills in education. We just don't. You have to learn those type of things either in therapy or through reading or through other things. I think, again, that's a learned behavior. Or again, if it was modeled by your parents, if you grew up in a functional household, then, now I didn't, but hey, I think
Wait, is there someone that has grown up in a functional household? Because I
don't
think
know.
we should get them as a guest on the show.
You think so?
I don't know that. What is functional household? I mean, I know what it is, but you know what I mean? I think
Right.
everybody,
Yeah.
everybody,
What I wanted to say, Michael, when you were saying we don't teach good communication skills, like at the school, on a school level, we don't honor emotional intelligence on the school level. And so that we don't teach. And I feel like that becomes the core issue. I feel like everything that we are looking at that's happening in our world right now are people who have never learned how to care for their emotional state.
Absolutely. Yep.
And if we need anything, we need to be teaching emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't have people trying to blow things up because they're angry.
Right. Well, so I do have a question, though. It's not the question that you guys asked. So my family, I am the oldest of 6.
Wow.
And my family does not talk to each other very much. And I was invited to a family gathering tomorrow.
Wow.
So, and several of my family are, let's say that they are MAGA / GOP / conservative / I don't know why they're thinking that way. So my game plan is that, first of all, not to go there expecting them to be a nice, loving, normal family, because I always get disappointed with that. So I'm not going to go expect that, but something just said, I just go ahead and just go and be with them. So my plan is, if they start talking that way, is just to say, well, that's a really good opinion. And then just walk, or that's your opinion, and then just walk away. I don't want to get into any type of fight with them tomorrow. Your comments, ladies.
Yeah, I think believe it or not, I have brothers who are MAGA, which is, if you can believe it, but I do. What I've learned to say, although I live in Australia, I don't have to see them ever. But when we get on our FaceTime calls and they say something that is against their own interest, which is against the interest of humanity, I just say, that's interesting. And I just don't engage it beyond that. And I'll change the subject, and I'll start talking about our grandmother, or also talking about some other memory. But I just say, look, that's interesting. I've also learned to say that's not my view, but I don't need you to see the world the way that I do.
Your comments, Robyn Rice Olmsted, practitioner emeritus extraordinaire. Go ahead.
Thank you. I think for me, it really depends where you're at, Michael, because for me, I mean, there's a part of me, I think, at this particular stage of what we do and where we are and how we think and who we talk to, you know, and who we work with. And, you know, there's a part of me that would want to do what you said and not engaging, of course, but also get curious, you know, and just really, for me, you know, because I don't know, at this point, I seek on some level to understand how, like you said, Natasha, how people can be for things that aren't kind or aren't in their best interest. So I'm curious to see, like, how is this serving you? Like, how is this, you know, like, I don't know. I would get curious. And then, you know, when you're done with that, just do exactly what you both have just said, you know, just be able to go, huh, okay, well, thanks for sharing. Good to hear it, good to know. And, you know, if you need to or want to say that's not how I feel, but that's okay. We're allowed to feel differently. Or if you don't need to even say that, you just move on to another.
Or you
subject.
can just say like Jeffrey Epstein and walk away.
Oh God.
You can just say Jeffrey Epstein and walk away.
No, you know, Robyn, I mean, I think that's one way of handling it. And I know from my end, though, I really try not that for me, that curiosity question is more of a therapy question than for me to try to, because I know how I know how they feel.
But do you know, but like, can they point to why really, like, why it's good? What is being done good? Like, what are they, this is my inquiry. Like, I don't even understand how we could be so far apart, like when we're all looking at the same thing. You know what I mean? So there's a part of me, it's not so much about therapy as it is like, I'm just seeking to see how other people see the world. You know, how you can adjust your perception to this is supporting love and growth.
You know, but when you think about how we're socialized in places like the United States, we are socialized in a way, one, we don't talk about the things we need to talk about. So we don't have a real shared language to talk about things like racial oppression, to talk about gender-based violence, to talk about sexism, to talk about homophobia. We don't have a shared language because we don't talk about it enough. And each of those things are so emotionally charged. Anything that has to do with anything that has to do with someone's sense of identity is going to be emotionally charged. Yes. And that again brings me back to not having emotional intelligence. So Thich Nhat Hanh, to the day he died, spoke about how he had to care for his anger like a little baby. Okay. Such a gentle man was still caring for anger that was born in him through the inequities of and the violence of the Vietnam War. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that we don't even begin to have a language to deal with the inferiority and fear someone must feel to hold those kinds of viewpoints is immense. And in that way, yes, it's kind of like therapy, but there's no way you can do therapy with anyone who does not yet know how to hold space emotionally. Right. So I know I'm being kind of flippant when I say Jeffrey Epstein and walk away. I know I'm being flippant, but there is a space where it's almost like we have to, you know, honor, like, this is where someone is. And my prayer is that their soul can evolve in a way that they can find the courage to stand in the face of their deepest fears about life and humanity. All of this stuff is born out of fear, born from a belief in disconnection from all of life and then from all of humanity. And I can't help but have in me a deep grief for humans who feel so afraid and disconnected. But also, I don't have to put myself around them on a regular basis. So, you know.
Well, and for me, I mean, I don't, you know, again, this is a very rare family function. I mean, we usually do not get together at all. So, yeah, so I have a brother coming in from out of town. And so my sister organized this at her brand new home in the suburbs of Akron. And I'm going to go, you know, and I really, for me, I just have to have kind of a game plan of being able to, okay. And that's why I didn't invite anyone to go with me is because I wanted to have that option of being light and that if I need to go. So I'm not planning on it, but I'm just saying my game plan going in there is not to, again, if people want to have polite conversation, that's one thing, but if I'm not there to change my family, who one of the members, again, I think it was a few years ago, I walked into their house and experienced Fox News blaring full volume. And I'm going, okay. So I can't, so, I mean, I find what the current administration and what the current mindset of many people in this country is to be inhumane. And so I don't know if that's it. Again, if people can have that kind of, and I usually have a pretty good sense of that. If people can have a conversation around that and that we can just go ahead and talk, that's one thing. But especially with my family that never meets, and that, so.
Yeah. I wonder, Michael,
go ahead.
Michael, I wonder how you can, because you said something about being light. So I'm wondering if you can really be light with a capital L.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. Be light with a capital L and so rooted and grounded in the unity of humanity that there's a space in your heart that just helps you remember who you are, right? You're born of these people. They're your natal kin, but you're a part of a family of light, and they are too. They just don't know it. And so I'm just wondering if there's a way for you to really get grounded in that before you step in that space, right? When I think of my grandma walking into a space of white people swaying her hips to Mississippi, that was my grandma grounding in her humanity in the face of people who would not see the fullness of her humanity. You know?
And I would just add to that, because what you said, Michael, is you're like, I'm not there to change their beliefs or whatever you said, but that's not what you said. You said something else. I'm not there to something. And the truth of the matter is, I mean, and I would just ask, is that the truth? Because I think in some ways you are there. You are there to be the light, and it doesn't mean it doesn't mean it's about politics. It means it's about all those things that you believe, being that, showing that. And yeah, you don't have to talk politics at all. You can say, I don't want to talk politics, but so tell me what it's like. How'd you find your new home, or whatever, or have some good spiritual questions, ready, conversation starters.
Well, thank you. I mean, I thank you. And Thank you.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
what again?
I
So
do-
what? So let me just. So what I hear you saying is, make sure is before what you're suggesting is before I go in there is just to make sure that I am grounded in who I am
Yes.
before I go in there, and also recognize that which I'm grounded in, they also have.
Yes.
Okay, that
And
sounds like a game plan. Okay.
I would just add to that, to remember when they state their beliefs or whatever it is you don't agree with, one of my favorite things is just to go, that's not the way I would do it. And still before me stands the face of God. So whatever dimension that is, just really being able to breathe into that and let it go. And, and set your intention. Your intention is to connect and have fun.
Right.
Right.
That's it.
And yeah.
And to be yourself, to be all of who you are. And I'm sure you and the fact that the family doesn't connect very often, like it says something about a sense of disconnection. And so I think of you, Reverend Michael, as a walking meditation for the remembrance of connection, and that you embody that. You embody that.
Yeah.
And if all else fails, say Jeffrey Epstein.
Well,
and then walk away. No, there was a time. Go ahead.
Wait, Michael, walk away and do the Mississippi walk. That'll throw him off for sure.
Oh man. Oh.
Life is good.
No, there was a time in which I got so triggered when I would even think about going to family functions, I wouldn't go. And now today, it's just what I've noticed over the years is, again, what always got me into trouble is that expectation that this is going to be the Ozzie and Harriet family, the supportive Ozzie and Harriet family. And that's just, that's just not the case with my family. It's just, so I think truly though, the whole idea of, again, grounding, remembering who I am, just being myself. I think that those are some really good things. I just got I asked myself, do I really want to go? And what my guidance inside was yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm going. So.
All right.
Guess what?
It's time.
It's time.
It's time. But I just want to say, I think it plays into another show, in terms of also as you want to go and as you watch and be with your family. Yeah, there's probably a little grieving you need to do and letting go of really knowing that, okay, this is what I got. It's not going to be what I wanted or what I saw on TV or any of that. And really just connecting with the okayness in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say that should take us back to that place of being the mystic healer. You're walking in as the mystic healer.
Yes. You model that, you embody the light. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get out of the picture and let you ladies have the last word here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. That was great. Thank you, producer Mangus. So that's all. I don't know if you have anything else to say. I
guess if I just in terms of wanting to leave people with something is to sort of play around with embodied memories, and because that the other beautiful thing that I didn't mention about that Mississippi walk is that it feels really good in the body. And so play around with pleasure as a part of spiritual growth.
Absolutely.
As a part of grounding deeply into one's humanity. I feel like that's what I would sort of want to leave us with, is for all of us to maybe find out what that feels like for each of us.
And I would just add to that as we take out the Mystic Healer card this week, just remember that is you. And that doesn't mean that the Mystic Healer doesn't step off the path or get triggered or have emotions or have feelings. It just means we can come back and explore that and be okay with that, and just, that we have this powerful ability within us for healing to occur both on the inside and out. And you don't know, even if you're going into a family situation, you don't know what your presence and standing in the light means. So be your authentic self and call on your Mystic Healer.
Yes.
Right. And we'll see you next week.
Sure will.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Peace and blessings, everybody.
Bye.